We had no idea this was going to happen, but when we said we could take cash payments for arbitrary amounts at 7-Eleven, all these gigantic companies came out of the woodwork, and so we're being drawn to that.
So for us, it's largely been gaming, I think, but we also seeing is not just social gaming. I think lots of casual game publishers and developers, I think you'll panel on that later in the day, I think they are looking at virtual goods in somewhat a different way, but they're definitely entering the space as well. So casual games, definitely on the MMO side, I think we're seeing a bit of a mix where call them casual MMOs or social MMOs that are emerging as well. So we see a lot of uptake there. But I think one of the biggest things we're seeing in the last few months is off Facebook development of games or social networks and activity away from the social network platform. So away from the Facebook platform itself, which is what we see.
That's because everybody's fleeing the arrival of credits. We're seeing mostly, again, games or worlds or MMOs that are aimed at an underbanked audience. Here in the US, that'd be primarily teenagers. And with the new Credit Card Act passed in February, it's now 21 to get a credit card, so 3 more years. I mean, you can no longer go into debt immediately when you get to university. You have to wait till your senior year. 29% of the country doesn't have a credit card anymore. It was 19% a year ago.
Yep, so we're mostly focused today with our distribution in the free-to-play MMO space. And so a little bit different than some of these folks, but we also are strong in the social networks. And so with a slightly different demographic, in the MMO space, you see, I think, larger purchases. You see kind of deeper engagement, but a smaller audience than you see in social.
And Vikas, you already brought up credit, so I don't have to. Social Gold's been pretty, someone on our panel brought it up. Social Gold's been pretty vocal about their skepticism about credits. Can you share some more of your thoughts about whether credits are good or bad for developers? I don't think we have anybody from Facebook in the room at the moment, so we should.
And none of them on Twitter either. So.
Right.
So I think specifically, we haven't been vocal or we haven't said that Facebook credits is bad. I think we are pointing out one particular common discussion that came up at the conference, at the F8 conference, where one developer went and said, look, I have my own virtual economy, I have my own currency. Can I use it where Facebook credits to use to fund my economy, my currency? And the response from Facebook was that that's not a good way because it hurts conversion, which is users are buying money, they go from US dollar to this universal currency, and then from that currency to this game's currency. It's a 3-step process, or a 2-step process, depending on how you look at it. And that hurts conversion, and that's what Facebook kind of openly admitted, that this is not an ideal way to drive an experience for users, and which is what we believe as well. I think if the conversion, if you want to get really good conversion in your game, you need to have as frictionless a way as possible for users to bring money in. Games rely on having their own economy because it drives much more value to them and to the users. And having that control is very important for game developers. So relinquishing control on their own economy to have Facebook credits power that is a challenge for game developers. But if they don't do that, then the challenge is the conversion that will happen from an intermediate step is going to be a challenge. So that's largely what we're looking at with Facebook credits is either way it will be a challenge for game developers. And the question is how many users on this system are enabled with money in credits. And I think that we haven't had, I don't know how much of that is. If there are a large number of users who have credits balanced that is ready to be spent in the games, then I think it's a great value. I think everyone should adopt it, everyone should look at it. It's definitely going to be, in any case, a good alternative on the platform as well as maybe off platform. But will it be the answer to kind of virtual goods monetization? I have my doubts.